One thing I can certainly say about February 2023, it has definitely been a month. Welcome to Mad on Books, where I talk about fantasy mostly, science fiction sometimes, and comics occasionally. Forgive me, I've been sick. This is a mid-month-ish update, because last week I was mostly acting pseudo-narcoleptic, and I'll spare you all of the other details. I slept a lot and wasn't feeling so great. This week I'm still off work. I'm still not feeling so great. It's moved into my lungs and it's bronchitis probably. So I'm taking it easy for another week, but I wanted to put out at least one video this week, and this is it. I, other than having been sick, have been starting to think about what to do with my channel, because my channel is about to hit 1,000, which is one of those arbitrary milestones. If we only had 8 fingers, we would probably think 1,024 was a really important number. We have 10 fingers, so we count in tens. And it seems like a good opportunity to celebrate a little bit. I'm thinking of doing a live stream celebration with me and maybe a whole bunch of my booktuber friends, just sort of dropping in and out as they feel like it. I also want to do a competition. I'm still thinking about the mechanics of it, but I think one of you could win an Amazon gift certificate. Because of where I live, it's really expensive to send books anywhere other than inside Europe. So an Amazon gift certificate is probably the most useful thing. And I've also been thinking, and let me know down in the comments what you think of this. I've been thinking about Patreon, and I've been thinking about a Discord server. And the Discord thing, I'm kind of against it, because it seems like every time another person starts Discord, you end up with another small community which is not really connected to the rest of the community. I myself am on 5 or 6 Discords, which is almost too many for me. It's probably many fewer than other people are on, but I feel like the Discord thing just sort of creates lots of its own little mini, one day when I've got 20,000 people who are fans, I might want to have a Discord. But I think probably for now I'd leave the Discord. Would anyone actually be interested in supporting the channel through a Patreon? Like $2 a month or $5 a month or something like that? I might just start it up and see how it goes. But those are sort of big milestone things that seem to make sense to do. So what did I read so far the first few weeks, a couple of weeks of this month? Last week I was sick enough that I didn't even feel like reading sometimes, but I still got a fair bit of reading done. I talked about this before, the Chanor series. It's 5 books. The first 4 go together, and the 5th one is sort of set in time after. I finished the 4th one at the beginning of the month. I won't talk much about this. Go back and look at my January wrap-up, where I talked a lot more about it, and I did a review of the first book. But I finished the 4th book at the beginning of this month. And then, as part of the read-along, the Realm of the Elderlings read-along, if you're watching this and you are actually still reading along, still intending to do a Realm of the Elderlings book one a month with me, that would be good. I know Tufty has been on the Discord, the Grimoire Discord, but everybody else has been really quiet. But I read the 2nd book in the Farseer trilogy, Royal Assassin. The first book, Assassin's Apprentice, I loved. This one is even better. It's annoying. Like, I'd give this a 5.5 because I gave Assassin's Apprentice a 5. I hate stars. Great book. Again, kind of a slow burn in a lot of ways. If you can't deal with a bit slower and very character focused, maybe not for you. But I really recommend anyone read these. These are so good. So I finished Royal Assassin this month. And then as part of a buddy read with Philip Chase, I read the first book of the Book of the New Sun, which is the first half of this book, which is Shadow of the Torturer by Jing Wolf. Philip and I have been reading it together. We're going to do a chat next weekend. Look out on his channel. I'll also be promoting it. We're going to do a live chat next weekend with another guy who's an academic who is actually kind of studying this and other fantasy books. So that should be really interesting. I'm looking forward to next weekend. And I've just on and off constantly kind of been reading The Paper Menagerie by Ken Liu. I've mentioned it before. I'm just sort of going through it, like in between every book, I'll read one or two. It's a bunch of short stories, and they are all amazing. I'm really looking forward to getting to Dandelion Dynasty, Grace of Kings by Ken Liu, because I've been super impressed with what he's done in these short stories. Very, very good stuff. What's coming up? The rest of the month, to be honest, I'm a little skeptical about the rest of the month. Technically, what I'm meant to read for the rest of the month is this. That's probably too much considering the date. That is Clash of Kings for the Song of Ice and Fire read-along. I want to read these, but man, this is chunky. And I've also got my Malazan, Malaz Everything re/read going, and Reaper's Gale, like towards the end of the Malazan Book of the Fallen, they all get really chunky. And Reaper's Gale, like you could kill someone with this book. It's chunky, solid. There is pretty much no way I'm going to finish this month. So I may be having my first month since I started the channel where I'm not reading a Malazan book, or at least not finishing a Malazan book. We'll see how it goes. But I think I can get that one done, Clash of Kings. But yeah, Reaper's Gale, sorry. Might have to wait a little. Sorry if my voice is a bit weird. I am still actually sick. I just didn't want to not do a video for too long, because I like doing videos and I like telling you people what's going on. What have I been watching? I actually had a little nostalgia kick, and my nostalgia goes further back than a lot of your nostalgia probably. You may have never heard of or seen Battlestar Galactica, the original Battlestar Galactica. It looks very much a product of its time. It's pretty old now, but there was a remake in the beginning of the 2000s, which was pretty good, very low budget, lots of IKEA lamps and things, which was actually, I didn't notice it the first time, but I'm very, very obviously aware of it this time. But I've been watching that, and it's a lot of fun. It's actually, although it's kind of cheaply, definitely cheaply produced, it's really well written. There's a really interesting story going on, and there are a lot of interesting questions being brought up about what is a person and what is consciousness, and if an android or cyborg or replica human is made, is it a person? Does it deserve personhood, or does it deserve just to be killed? And there's a lot of interesting issues coming up in it, and I'm really enjoying it. And I've also been keeping up with every week The Last of Us, because I played the video game. I loved the video game. Not maybe as much as some people. I'm not sure I'd say it's the best video game I've ever played, but it was very, very good. Very good storytelling. And especially the last episode, no real spoilers, but there was a bit in the last episode where I was like, I remember exactly this happening in the video game, where you're up in a top floor of a house with a sniper rifle, and you have to protect the people that you're with as they are being attacked outside trying to get to you. And you have to cover them and take out zombies that are trying to get to them and that kind of thing. And more or less exactly that happened in the series. I'm really surprised by how closely, not always, but how closely in general they are staying, and how some of the really, really classic scenes out of the video game are being reproduced one-to-one in the show. And I'm really enjoying it so far. I've also been playing games on consoles. About 2 weeks ago, I bought a PlayStation 5. I have had an Xbox S for a while now, just because it was cheap and it was available, and PlayStation 5s were completely unavailable unless you wanted to pay double price and buy it from a scalper, which I didn't. So they're now available. The shop I went to actually, the guy did a funny trick. Luckily, I asked, because I looked on their website and it said no, you could pre-order them only. I went to the shop and I asked a guy in the shop, and he was like, "Do you really want one?" I was like, "Yeah, for normal price though." And he's like, "Yeah, no worries. Let me look in the back." And he comes out with one. And he said, "Yeah, what we did was we, the employees, put our own money in and pre-ordered 10 extras so that we could have 10 in stock. Because normally they were only doing it pre-order. They could only pre-order from a customer who had already paid for it. And then they'd gather up a whole bunch of orders and order it and get them in. They put their own money in, pre-ordered 10, and then got refunds on all 10 of them, just so that they could have some in stock. So I was lucky. I got one, and I've been playing God of War Ragnarok. I loved the previous God of War. It's all very much tied into Norse mythology, which is one of my big subjects that I really, really enjoy reading about, and movies and everything that are related to it. And it's good fun action. It's not too deep. It's not too amazing story, but it's really good graphics. It's really, really fun to play. And perfect timing for being sick. Sitting under a blanket on my sofa last week, I played the entire story of Hogwarts Legacy. I'm not a huge Harry Potter fan. I liked Harry Potter, but I'm too old to have grown up with it. I read it when I was in my late 20s or early 30s and enjoyed it. It was fun, but I didn't go berserk about it. I was not waiting at midnight for shops to open to get the next book. None of that kind of stuff. I watched the movies. They were, yeah, all right. But it's a fun world, and it looked like a really good game, and it was fun. I love open world games. I love exploring and seeing the interesting creative things that the people who made the game have built. And it was really, really good for that. So I had a really good time with God of War Ragnarok and Hogwarts Legacy. So that's my mid-month-ish update. I'm not sure when I'm going to be making another video. I'm having a hard time motivating myself when I'm not feeling so great. And when my voice gets back to a bit more normal, that will probably be a good thing as well. So maybe this week, no more. We'll see. I will try next weekend to get some stuff done. But I will be reading a really chunky book in the meantime, while I've got time off work, sick. So I hope you are well. I hope you're not sick. I hope you are enjoying yourself more than I am at the moment. And as always, keep reading awesome books, and I will see you next time.